So, hello everyone. I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here on Wednesday night and we're going to be building Stuart's PC. So Stuart hit me up over the weekend to get a new PC. If I remember right, his last PC is quite old and lasted him a while, but he's looking for a good upgrade and a system that can last him for another decent amount of time. So we put together this build for him. I quite like it. It's in a case that I wouldn't mind having for myself. It's actually got the same power supply that I have in my personal rig right now, so that's a bit of a glowing endorsement of that. But let's get started and let's B760M Gaming X-AX motherboard. We have a i5-13600KF CPU. We have a 2TB NVMe SSD. We have, hang on a second. I think that's the wrong motherboard. Has there been a mix-up? Sorry people, just let me check this out. Because this motherboard is DDR4 and there's DDR5 RAM for this. So have I just made an error? Have I grabbed the wrong motherboard out of the box? Sorry, very unprofessional of me. Gaming X-AX DDR5. Just a second. Yeah, we've been supplied the wrong board.
Oh, fuck. This happens occasionally.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when it looks identical.
There's 4 different variations of this motherboard.
Yeah, literally 4 different versions, and that doesn't even count the difference between the DDR4 and DDR5. Jesus, so what do we do here? Wrong motherboard is a bit of a problem.
That's like, you know, one of the main things you need.
Well, we might be doing, we might be actually building a different PC here tonight, because I can't really proceed with a motherboard that has different RAM requirements.
Yeah, Stuart says I definitely want the DDR5.
Yeah, 100%. I remember we were talking about all this in the consultation. So I don't even have like an equivalent kit of DDR4 RAM on me. I've got DDR4 RAM, but not like the equivalent of that. So yeah, we might have to swap this one around. So I do have another PC to build. It was going to be tomorrow night's build, but I think it might have to be. We might have to swap them around just for.
Lame. Everything's lame.
Oh well. This one's definitely going to be interesting.
Okay.
So we're upgrading this one. We're going from a 4070 Ti build to a 4090 build. So. I'm sorry, Stuart. Sorry about this, mate. I should have double checked the motherboard, but I saw the B760 Gaming X AX, and I'm like, oh yep, sweet. We got the right board. Because yeah, like, just have a look at that picture there. Now just remember that for when I get the replacement of this board. Although I might not be able to get the exact same model.
Might get a better one.
Well, no, I'm just wondering why I got this and not the other one. Because normally if there's a mistake like that, they don't have any of the other ones. It's been put in the wrong location or something. So...
Bailey, what are you doing?
Alright, do you want to...
Move, Bailey. Out of the way. Ooh, that wasn't a very nice sound.
So here we go. I have to get Christine to change the description.
Yes.
Because now we are building a slightly different PC. Bloody hell. Fly. Alright, bloody hell. Always dramas here. Always dramas, but I'll always get it sorted one way or the other. Okay, let's let this other customer know that I'm doing his tonight. Okay. All right. Well, Jesus. This one here is an RTX 4090 rig. And so I believe this is Billy's PC. Well, Billy's paid for it, but I believe it's for his
young girl.
It's for his daughter.
Lucky you.
How's that? Dad buying his little girl a 4090 rig that's pink with a pink cooler. It's pretty cool, eh? Excuse the pun. And yeah, don't mind the sticker there on the front of that motherboard. It's just it got sent out to another customer from, I think it's Umart, and it's come back and they've just scribbled it out and given it to me for my order. So we can turn it around so you can get a bit of a better idea as to what this board actually is. So I was on the north side the other day and I got the last packet of these strimmer cables that I could find in stock in Queensland. There was one unit sitting there at Umart Chermside, so I went up there and I got that, and I got a couple of other bits and pieces that they had only at the Chermside store. And so anything that's only at one of their like regional stores or suburban stores, like not their warehouse, they don't ship anything back or ship out of any of those stores. So if something ends up there and not at their warehouse, you have to actually go for a drive. So that's why there was one packet of these strimmers left. They're not actually for this build. I just bought them as extra stock because everybody wants them and not everyone can get them. So, all right, how are we going, babe? Yeah. We're going well?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get stuck right into it. So this build here, we've got the i5-13400F. This is an excellent CPU. The i5-400 series is now a 10-core, 16-thread CPU. How freaking epic is that? 13400F. That's so the 400 i5 is the entry-level i5 for the generation. The 13 in the model number, that's the generation number. So we're on 13th gen, and it's the 400F from the 13th gen. And you know, I can remember when the i5 was a dual core, 2 threads, 2 cores, 2 threads, and then 4 cores, 4 threads, and then 6 cores, 6 threads, then 6 cores, 12 threads, and now 10 cores, 16 threads. It's like Intel doing a bit of a mic drop there. We've got the B660M Gaming XAX DDR4 motherboard. We've got a 3200 MHz CL16 32GB kit of RAM there from Corsair. We have an RTX 4090 that will fit in this case. So we had to look around and look at like the measurements for every single 4090 card to work out exactly what would fit inside this case.
I'm still paranoid it's not gonna fit.
Yeah, I am a little bit as well. I think we've got enough clearance up top. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Mr. Walshy says hello, Cobber.
Hey, Mr. Walshy, how you going, mate? Good to have you with us. So going on with the specs, we got a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD. We got this Dark Flash Twister DX240 cooler. So the case and the cooler was supplied to me by the customer. So I just picked them up off him earlier this week, and yeah, that's the only parts he supplied. I've put together the rest of this build. So I've never used this cooler and I've never used this case exactly. However, I have used pink Fantech cases in the past when customers have wanted a pink one. This is a new version. It looks very similar to another older version, but this is the new one. And so we've got all white fans in the case there, which is pretty good. And then we've got pink fans actually on the cooler.
That's pretty cool.
So that's awesome. And then for our power supply here, we're not messing around. We've got a Cooler Master 1050 watt MWE power supply. There's a 10-year warranty and it's ATX3, so it plugs straight into our 4090 without any need for those power adapters and stuff, which, you know, I can make it look neat and tidy, but I still can't make it not look like it's an adapter plugged into the card. There's a limit to what like cable managing it can actually do. So it's always good to have the actual native connection.
Kyle says,
hey Kyle, how you going? Good to have you with us.
Oh my God,
good
Bailey.
one, Bailey.
She's got a cone of shame on, so she's crashing into everything. And she's quite a large dog. It's a 25 centimetre cone of shame.
I've got a table just down here, and I've got a heap of fans on it that are just stacked up, just in case I need spare fans while I'm streaming. And she, came up with a cone and just knocked them all off. So, yeah, happy days.
Billy says thanks. Hey man, thanks for doing it so quick.
Hey Billy, how you going? Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, it all sort of worked out. I ordered your graphics card and got it expressed, and normally when I get it expressed, it still takes like a week, but they actually got onto it.
They're like, oh shit, it's 4090. They might get
the 4090 customer might get the shits. We'll make sure we send this out nice and fast. And like honestly, luckily you did, because we had a wrong motherboard on the last customer's order, and I don't have a spare one. And he definitely wants the DDR5, and I don't blame him. Because as I was saying at the start of that order, I said to everyone, this customer hasn't bought a new PC in like 10 years. He's just had his current one die, and he wants to get something good. He wants to be able to run, all the latest games if he wants to and stuff, but he doesn't want to spend 4090 money. And so we did a full consultation. I kind of explained the situation to him, and we sort of decided 4070 Ti would be about the right amount of performance there. And I was explaining to him sort of the difference between the different CPUs we were tying up, because 13600K and 12700F, they are about the same price. So you've got the 13th gen i5K series, which is a 14 core 20 thread CPU. So it's a monster of a CPU for what it is, and it's the K series, so it's a bit faster when it comes to gaming. And then the other one was the 12th gen i7 12700F, which is a 12 core 20 thread CPU. So the thread count for both these CPUs is the same. The i5 is the later gen model. So even though that was the i7, the i5 was still sort of a better performing CPU, because it's almost like the 13th gen i5K series is pretty much like the 12th gen i7. So just to give you an idea of how it sort of scales up, and decided that, yeah, at that price, when it was a choice between the two, the 13600KF was the way to go. Alright, let's get stuck right into this one. So, we've got a Silicon Power UD80 NVMe SSD. It's got a 5-year warranty, as long as you don't use them commercially, but most people here certainly won't be using them commercially. My screwdriver. Here we go. Screwdriver with the right thread pitch for what I want. Okay. Alright, so I got our memory here. So if you've ever watched my channel before and you've heard me talk about memory and the CPU are joined at the hip. You could have a problem with either your memory or CPU, and it can potentially turn on the opposite error light on your motherboard. So it might say you got a CPU error, but it's not actually a CPU error, it's a error with your memory. Or you could have a memory error and it's actually your CPU. So that's where this PC shit gets a little bit confusing, especially if you're just getting started and stuff. It's like, oh bloody hell, what's this mean? I mean, I talk to people all the time who want to have a go, sort of like diagnosing their own PCs and stuff. And yeah, people get very confused by things. They'll say they'll run memtest 64, for example, and they'll be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with my memory, I've run memtest and it's fine. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You could still have some kind of a problem, and like memtest will say it's okay. She's chewing up a plastic bag with zip ties in. No. See, what's this? Hey? All you have to say to my dog to make her realise she's done something wrong is you just say the words WHATTHIS. Just say those words and she knows. She knows. You just have to hold up the thing that she's chewed up or whatever and just say those two words, and she starts, oh shit, oh no, I've done something wrong. She's a very smart dog, always knows when she's done something wrong. Mm-hmm. Which is good, because that means she's ultra easy to train, right? Right? Okay, cooler time.
Can't wait for this new Super Mario game to come out.
Yeah, it looks fun. A Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Not a platformer. How's that?
Kind of a platform, but it's also not at the same time.
Yeah, but the way that...
I've seen other bits where he's actually running like a robot bricks that looks like...
Yeah, I'm sure there's elements like that, but the way that it is, it's like an open world that you explore. That's what I mean, it's like an RPG. You're playing as Mario, not just like you're controlling Mario.
And check it out, you get to be Elephant Mario.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a Mario RPG and not really a 3D platformer. So It's a bit different to like Super Mario 64, and it's a bit different to stop going through all my stuff looking for shit to chew up. You are a naughty puppy dog. Yeah. So don't be doing that. Okay. So we got our pink fans here. Okay. Let's get a little bit concerned when there's cardboard covering the radiator. Yeah, those fins look decent. Not too... The fins aren't too thin. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, looks like we've got an Intel plate. Okay, so first problem is we have a backplate that's not compatible with LGA 1700 socket. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful with this. So I don't typically recommend using just any backplate and cooler together. I always would recommend that you use the correct backplate for the sort of motherboard that you're using. However, in this situation, we've got a customer that supplied me the cooler and we need to make it work. So what we need to do hopefully the arms on this will line up. I opened the wrong bag of bolts there. It's these four. Always the fun part of doing a cooler for the first time. Okay. It goes on the other way. Okay, so I can start to thread the screws.
Oh, fluffy now. I see a fluffy butt.
Dude, there's nothing up here for you. There really isn't.
There is a lap.
Oh, okay.
He can't move the cooler so he can sit on top of PC. Put him up there.
Fluffy Meow.
There you go. Let's have a good old sniff. Fluffy now.
Okay. So it gives you these bolts, and you can start to thread them.
Dude, you can't lick.
We're pretty sure he doesn't have object permanence. We're pretty sure. Okay. So yeah, some of these cheaper coolers can be a little bit of a challenge to put together. So if you're building a PC for the first time, you might not necessarily want to buy the cheapest cooler you can find.
What's it called again?
This cooler is called the Twister DX240.
It's not that cheap. It's 115.
That's pretty cheap for a cooler.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think these were meant to go on the way that I thought, but we still might not be out of the woods yet. So I'm not sure how well this bracket's going to line up. Now, if it doesn't line up, and we're going to make this work with things, so what we'll have to do in that case, we're gonna have to sort of drill some new holes. I'm not gonna do that like live tonight.
Now? Fluffy now.
But if we can't get a good mount, yeah, we'll make sure that we rectify that. And so yeah, there would be instructions for this, but
Are you right, buddy? Coffee now.
yeah, we're not out of the woodwork yet, eh? I mean, that cooler bracket there is compatible with 3 different sorts of Intel sockets. They're all obsolete. We don't use them anymore. That's probably why the cooler's so cheap and it's not up around the 150 mark. Oh, but let's see what we can do. So you got to be very careful if you do this. Because you don't want to put too much strain on the motherboard. There was a lot of people when LGA 1700 first came out, they went and bought the CPUs, bought it home, and their coolers weren't compatible with it. They mounted them and then ended up realizing that they kinda don't work. Whoops. Okay, so before you freak out, I'm not mounting this without thermal paste. I am just having a look to see whether we can actually mount this without drilling any holes or anything like that, what the situation is. Definitely in a bit of a pickle with this one, that's for sure. Okay, so with this one, and if I have these brackets around the other way, which I think is going to be the only way I'm going to be able to make it work anyway, it won't. It'll obscure the way I want to mount it, because the LGA 1700 socket is actually bigger than the LGA 1150 1200 socket and all that, and it's taller as well. These arms here weren't sort of made for it, so it makes it really difficult. some shit.
Well, it's coming up to Halloween.
Oh god.
Spooky season.
Yeah.
Jesus. Look at the size of that moth on the window.
It's huge. So what combination of all this are we going to make work? Is it even going to work?
It's like playing Tetris.
It sort of is. It really sort of is. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can make it work. Ugh. So if only it was easy. So yeah, if you want to mount it like this, let's try these bolts. Is that the right thread pitch? I think so. Yeah. Hey Nicholas, how you going? Good to have you with us. Okay. Alright, so no matter what I do, we're going to have some sort of problem here. So I'm gonna have to modify. I'm gonna have to modify these brackets. So I basically need to extend the holes slightly, because even if I sort of jimmy it around, no matter what I do, I can't get more than 3 out of 4 of the bolts to line up with the holes on this bracket. So because this cooler is not compatible with LGA 1700, yeah, we got sort of limited options there. What we can do is we can continue with the build tonight, and I'll just use a stock cooler on our 13400F. Just won't be this one. And then I believe we still have a daughter's birthday, so we got a little bit of time to fix that bracket, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Well, either way, I may as well get the fans mounted to it. We can take care of a bit of this stuff. But yeah, that kind of sucks that we can't get that happening tonight. But it is what it is. I just would have thought that all the coolers being sold now would you know, be compatible with the Intel socket that's been out for, you know, nearly 2 years.
Lisa, it's my pink PC for my birthday.
Okay. Well, yeah, no dramas. We'll be able to get it. We'll be able to get it sorted for you. Like I said, the issue isn't the 1700 socket backplates that we can utilize. Also, I've got plenty of screws. I've got plenty of screws and bolts of different lengths that we can utilize, so that's not a problem. I will have a look, or maybe you could have a look on the Dark Flash website and see if they have like an LGA 1700 socket kit, because obviously, like I said before, the ideal way is to get the actual backplate and whatever that comes with it. Okay. So for tonight, we're just going to use a Intel stock cooler on this. So let me just get a little dab of thermal on there. Alrighty.
Imagine this. South African couple were over here on holidays in Darwin.
Yeah.
And they decided to go to the botanical gardens, and they were walking through it, and a tree branch fell down on top of them and killed the wife. Husband's in hospital.
Oh, fuck. Damn.
No, we're only young too. 28 and 33.
Like our age. Alrighty, so... Alright, so that's all prepped up. Now we've just got the rest of it. So... Ah, no, it's all good, man. It's all good. I don't mind a challenge. Alrighty, so we got silver. Oh, I know. I've seen it. I've seen my bag. Just want to find my bag of silver bolts, so we can keep the silver theme without adding a heap of black bolts to it. Alrighty. Big bag of most probably zinc alloys. Alright, so 4090, you can sit down there for a while. Alrighty, okay. So our white fans aren't addressable, they're just Molex DC connection. So what that means is you can't change the color on it. So they give you an LED button, like a cable and a button on the case, but then they supply you with fans that don't utilize it. Well, that's great, isn't it? Alrighty, so how are we going to go with this long boy in this case? So we'll remove the 3.5-inch drive tray. We're maxing out the capacity of this case in terms of the graphics card and the power supply. It was never intended to have this much graphics card or this much power supply in this case. Okay. Alrighty, so with top quality PSUs like and so there was no data on PSU length for this case that I could find, but that's okay. Alright, it's relatively straightforward. Just remember that with your 24-pin ATX power, 24-pin into the board there, but there is 30 pins on the other end into your power supply. So it's not an optional 10-pin and a 20-pin. They're both required to be plugged in. Now, some people might say that seems like a weird thing to suggest to people, blah 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 blah. I've actually had customers bring me their PCs a non-zero amount of times. Do that. It's probably not very common, but I think what happens is this one, the 24-pin on that end, they see the 20-pin on the other end, and their brain tells them it's the same, and they think, oh yeah, cables here, cables there. The 20 pins, so let's just plug in the other one. I'm still tired after yesterday. Alright, and SATA and Molex. Okay, power supply is in. Alright. So once your power supply is in, then you want to try and get your 3.5-inch trays back in the case. And so this is applicable for whenever you're installing one of those long boy power supplies. Gives it strength. Is actually being clipped in here. And so that's a very tight fit there. But there we go, we got our massive power supply and our 3.5-inch drive tray installed there. Okay, so look, this is pretty straightforward stuff. Tuck these Molex cables away because I literally just need one. Well, Alright, so then that's all hooked up. So for this, the very top on the agenda.
Oh shit.
What's wrong? More artifacting.
It's getting worse.
Yep. So we need to adjust some of these offsets. Damn. They were painted on. Alright, if I need a third one. Okay, so we've got micro ATX standoff pat. Okay. Okay. So our front panel connectors. Our front panel audio and our USB 2.0. Is our audio, USB 2, and our front panel connectors. So power and reset underneath, and HD LED upside down next to reset, and then we've got positive, negative on the right. Okay, well, believe it or not, it's nearly time to plug in our graphics card. I've just got a few other bolts to put in the motherboard. Okay. Okay. Bloody hell. Talk about maxing out this little case. absolutely freaking maxing. Ooh. I think there's just enough room to mount the radiator to the front if we don't have enough room up top. Have a look at that. I think there's just enough. Run out of room at the top. I think we're just okay.
I don't trust the dims.
Huh?
I don't trust the Corsair dims getting in the way.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you right now. That's like what I'm expecting. Seriously? Okay. So, that is that. And so let's see whether I've put it together right. Have I gotten my wires crossed? Who knows? Oh yay, it turned on.
Can you turn it a little bit? Yeah. Cool. It's very pretty. Even though it doesn't have the pink hood on it, it's still pretty.
Yeah. Oh, what a pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's so annoying. But that
Yes.
Do you want to get a BIOS?
I'm doing it.
We were all organised for the other motherboard. Rev 1.1.
1.1.
Just type it in.
Yeah, I am.
Up there. Oh, no. If it doesn't say it, just go the Rev 1.0.
It might.
Just give it a go. We'll see whether it's compatible, I guess. There wasn't another page for Rev 1.1,
No.
so we're going to assume that it's the same as Rev 1.0. We'll assume. Oh god, don't get me started on assuming. Fucking assuming. Assume this.
Caught up in cables.
Okay, so now we can go over to QFlash, update BIOS, and no. It was F26 that you downloaded?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Here comes Bailey. Bailey.
I don't think we're gonna be successful with this. What? Hey, I'm going. Is it that one there that you haven't clicked on? BIOS. That's really weird. No, you're in the BIOS there. You're on the flash drive. Alright.
Try this again.
Take two.
F-26.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so look at this. Did you get the non-M version? Oh, that'll do it, babe. Don't forget those M's. The sigh.
Ooh. There's new Star Fox coming.
Where's the small puppy?
Out there, laying down.
So, oh, have a look at this new BIOS. Oi, babe, you seen the new Gigabyte BIOS user interface? This is really cool.
That is actually pretty cool. Very good.
Well, that looks pretty good. I like it. I feel like I'm living in 2023. Well, yes, I mean, everything's all good. We'll be able to test it and everything like that. The only thing is we just don't have that cooler in, which is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. We can work through it. Okay. Simple Windows install. Now it's a bit of a shame I don't have all the software for it, but we'll make do. Tonight's been all about making do. Bloody motherboard. No, that's okay. We'll have the right board, or we'll have something tomorrow. I don't want to start making promises, because at this stage, I don't know what's going to happen next. What's up?
Says, "Oh my god, man, it's so pretty. Good job. You getting, man. You are the greatest of all time."
All good, bro. All good. And yeah, we'll get to the bottom of that cooler. One way or another, we will get it attached, and we will get it mounted. In this case, I will not be defeated. Well, these Molex fans seem to move a decent amount of air.
That better be the Bayside Golf Sim. This Queensland golfer, he's cancer survivor and he's going to America as a professional.
That looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it's the same one. It looks like different software.
Yeah, surely it's not the only. It's not the only one.
No, it wouldn't be.
You should comment with a link to.
I will.
Just find their website on Google and then post the link. Try our new Donald Trump Golf Sims. They're just tremendous. The only thing I don't like is I can't pick up the balls and move them into positions that I prefer them in. Okay, so let's see what stuff I can install offline here. So graphics card.
Billy says, "Oh man, if it's not necessary, don't worry about it. Just my wife is saying she likes the radiator."
No, I think it's great, and
no, it's cool. I like it. We need to find some way of doing it. Well, it's gone. Fluffy now. He's back. Oh, and Bailey's back too.
Small puppy.
She's just trying to find somewhere to lay down. There's nowhere for her to lay. Bailey. Down.
He was removed. Yeah, that's right, puppy dog. It can happen to you.
She puts her head down.
All right. Okay. So we get some stuff going on. So I've already got our RTX 4090 driver installed. We got our 13400F, 10 core, 16 thread CPU. Alright, so now we can put on the rest of the stuff that we normally do. So let me see if there was a bug with Windows 10 where it wasn't letting me like just hit enter and open multiples. Yeah, see, it's still doing it. I should be able to open up all of these applications at once. But it might have something to do with about like the total size that you're trying to open at once. See, like that worked. can set up MSI Afterburner here for our 4090. So definitely good software to have. That allows you to adjust the fan curve. Okay.
Logan says, Dan, you do this a lot. Because fuck with it.
Yeah, man, I do this fairly frequently. I run out of new things to say about it, so feel free to ask any questions that you have. It's very hard to like do the same thing every day and like come up with new things to say about it. Oh, bloody hell. Alright, so these are the benchmark apps. All this stuff's free to download. These aren't like paid apps or anything special that only I can get. Anyone can get these apps. That's why I use them, so that you can download them on your own computer and sort of see how your specs go up against the PC that we're building here tonight. So it can be a good way to sort of get your head around how much performance increase you could get from an upgrade. It's one thing to read reviews and crap online and you don't know who's being paid to say what. It's another thing to go and actually just see me just run these generic benchmarks on it, and then you go and run the same ones on your PC at home, and then you can easily see what your system was compared to this. And then if you want any more information, you just contact me. I'm going to go ahead and restart it now, and while the other Windows updates are doing their thing, I'm going to go and start running the gaming benchmarks. So yeah, we're doing something on the computer as well, so maybe our CPU will be a little bit impacted, but it is a 13400F, so anything Intel 13th gen is pretty awesome, so I'm not anticipating any problems.
factory case.
Oh, yeah. So everything on our PC should be all installed. Yes, it is. So come in here to Device Manager and just have a look for any asterisks. That'll give you an idea as to whether there's problems or stuff not installed yet. Oh, one thing. Alrighty, so while this is doing its thing, let's run some gaming benchmarks. Alright, so we'll run Heaven on high, no anti-aliasing. Alright, so all this stuff on the screen, we've got our graphics card, temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage, our VRAM usage and clock speed, got our CPU temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage, our RAM usage. And so one thing to just point out, see how the graphics card usage isn't all the way at 100%? That's because our CPU is being occupied by other things. But even so, this number here below RAM, that's how many frames per second it's currently running at. And I mean, that's I mean 500-ish frames a second while the CPU's doing stuff in the background. Not too bad. Yeah.
This is meant to be pizza. Oregon and Pennsylvania are fighting the style of that with the worst looking pizza. What is that even? I think that's like some sort of grenade pesto.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the cheese, man? Where's the cheese? That looks like cheap.
So as you can see, the percentage of the graphics card jumping right up. And so 4090 realistically running heavy is kind of a very low bar for a 4090. If this thing is working hard out, it sits around like 900, nearly gets to 1,000 frames a second running this benchmark. We'll give it an actual challenge now and it will actually go up to 100% utilization. Because this is just, it just makes a mockery of heaven. That's, you know. Even trying. Look at that temperature. 49 degrees while it was running heaven. It's not even trying. Gigabyte. Okay, so the next one here we're going to run is Valley, and Valley's more demanding. It's also being run on higher settings here, so Ultra, Max Anti-Aliasing. And this will give our 4090 a bit more meat to bite off. Still barely trying, is it? It's because it's still in 1080p. We'll do the 4K one. It'll make better use of it. Because that CPU's not really doing too much.
Drop it down, broken down, side of the hole.
Okay. So that was Valley there on Ultra with no anti-aliasing, and never even got to full utilization of the graphics card. Like I said, the 1080p benchmarks with a 4090 is just a bit, you know, a little bit easy for it. It'll still run at hundreds of frames per second, albeit at the lower resolution. Now we got the 4K benchmark. So like I said, this is definitely more what a 4090 is made for. It's for the 4K gaming. can see that graphics card usage right up there. So I've hit a maximum of 320 frames a second here in the 4K benchmark. Hasn't gone below 138.8. All right. Okay, so we ran the benchmarks there. One thing I didn't get was Cinebench. But there's no point doing the stress test on this because we're going to be changing the cooler. So I'll just get Cinebench installed. I'll get everything all ready to go. Yep. Don't know why it's going that slow. We've definitely got faster internet than 3.4 megabits. That's Microsoft. Oh, look at that. Now it's downloading fast. For a second. Okay. So let's have a look at our 13400F. So it'd sit up here around the 12700 mark. And so we were doing some other stuff in the background, drops down a bit, but yeah, your single core is around the 12700F mark. And then for multi-thread, that's where it gets interesting. So we have 10 cores and 16 threads. So as you can see, we're faster in multi-core than the i9 11900KF. We're faster than Ryzen 5800, 5800X 3D, 5700X, i9 9900KS. And what is faster? 5800X is pretty much just as fast as this, and then we've got the 12th gen K series chips, the i5, the i7, the i9s. That's the ones that win. However, these i7s and i9s are kind of cheating because they've got 20 threads and 32 threads, or sorry, 24 threads. 32 threads has our 13900K chips, which are beating all of the AMD ones at multi-core. So AMD used to beat Intel at multi-core, but the tables have turned. Yeah. Hey Ladios, how you going? Good to have you with us. So, yeah, it is a bit, but we've had so many dramas. Had wrong motherboard at first, so someone else's build has been postponed another day. And then this one here, we had problems with the cooler not having an LGA 17 socket bracket with it. And so I'm going to have to do some hard mods to the bracket to attach it. But that's alright. We'll make it work. Alright, well, I think we're getting close. I think we're nearly at the end of the night here tonight, because there's not really much else I can do. No point doing the stress test on it when we're going to swap the cooler, because I want to do the stress test when the actual cooler is on it. But yeah, everything else is kind of all ready to go now. So yeah, we might wrap it up, I think. Alright, well, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next video.